In today's video, I'm going to walk you through how to provision a Postgres database using Tessell. Now, you'll notice that when we first walk in, we're here at the My Services. This is a rundown of all the different databases within our platform, all the database engines you provision. You can see that we've got a number of Oracle databases. We've got some MySQL, as well as some Postgres. We're all set up here. We're also running across two different cloud providers. So we have 6 of these that are running within AWS, and then 5 of them running within Azure as well. And you also have the ability to come up at the top and filter this. So if you want to focus on a specific type of database engine or a specific cloud instance, you'll have the ability to come in here and filter these workloads so that only the ones that you want to see appear here. Now, what I'm going to do, since we're going to create an actual new database instance, I'm going to go over to the provisioning tab here. This is what we call an app. So we have a number of different apps here, which we'll dive into in another video. But here's where I can actually go ahead and create a new service name. So I'm going to create a service. This is going to say demo recording Postgres. I can put in a description here. This is my Postgres environment. And now here, this might look familiar to some of you who are using, other platform as a service like a RDS or something like that. So the look and feel should be very similar here. I'm going to choose the option here for Postgres. Now you'll also notice that one of the differences between Tessell and a lot of other platforms is the fact that we'll give you the ability to customize how you set this up. So if you want to bring a specific version of Postgres here, you'll have that capability. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to actually go with Postgres 15. And you can actually see that we can give you specific subversions as well here. Now, over on the right-hand side, we've got a number of options that are pre-configured. So if I actually wanted to, if I already have my settings configured, I can literally click one-click provision, and this will deploy with the settings as they are right now. But I'm going to actually click through these and show you what the full-on deployment would look like as well. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and hit next. Now here's where I can actually choose the database or cloud that I want to connect to. So in most cases, what we'll do is we'll pre-provision your Tessell tenant to enable your subscription to, so if you have AWS subscriptions, we'll be able to connect to those. Same with Azure as well. And then you can choose which region you want to connect to. For the purposes of this, I'm just going to go with Northern Virginia. I'll keep US East 1A here, but you do have the ability to customize this as well. Go ahead and hit next. And now here's where we can start to look at some of the different shapes that are available. So one of the big differentiators of Tessell is the ability to leverage high performance computing. So this is where our patented technology has enabled and really unlocked the true power of things like NVMe storage. So if you think about NVMe, one of the knocks on it is that when a system is going to reboot, or something happens to an environment, or you shut it down for whatever reason, the storage is actually non-persistent. So all the changes that are made are going to be lost. So what we're doing here is we've actually written some code to enable that local NVMe storage to be persistent. And what this does is, in most cases, it gives you more performance, higher IOPS, at a lower cost than what you would typically pay for things like, RDS. So here's where we can actually go through the different compute shapes. So if I want to choose, how many CPU I want, I can say bump this up to like 8. You could see that my storage is going to be increased by that. I also have a couple of different options here as far as what I'm looking for from a storage perspective. I can go ahead and customize this. Now this is going to be limited to the cloud providers storage options that are available for each instance type. But what we would typically do is go ahead and right size this with you to make sure that we are giving you the most performant compute shape for the workload that you need. So we want to make sure that when you're going ahead and you're provisioning your instances, your database isn't going to lag for whatever reason. And you also do have the ability to resize this once it's deployed as well. For the purposes of this demo, I'm going to go with a small shape here. We're just going to go with a Tessell 2B. Go ahead and hit next. Now here's where I can define connectivity. So if I did want to have public access, which in most cases we're not going to recommend because you don't want people to start trying to run port scans on your database server. But here's where you can actually define exactly which VPC and port you're going to connect through. This is my IP address that I'm connected from right now. And if you did have some public access, so let's say you wanted to host your database in one cloud provider, but your application servers are in another, you could put in allowed IP addresses and put them on the allow list and let them connect over to this machine as well. Go ahead and hit next. Now here's where I can actually configure the database instance. So I'm going to call this my my important app. Oops. Should remember my no hyphens there. Now you can define a username and password here. We are not going to be able to keep track of this. So if this is ever lost, you'd have to reset it. Tessell does not want to, be able to access the database itself. We're really just giving you the infrastructure that the database is going to ride on. Now here's where you can also put in some advanced configuration. So if you do have any kind of parameter profiles or anything like that saved in your environment where you want to leverage this for whatever customizations you've already created for your application, you can actually come in here and see how this can be customized as well, and you can actually take those values and then import them into Tessell as well. Once again, this is really where we give you the ability to leverage Tessell at your terms, right? We want you to be able to manage your databases as clear as you need to, and we don't want to limit you on what capabilities you're going to have. I'm going to go ahead and hit next again. Now, we do give you the ability to, with a couple of clicks to go in here and actually set up a multi-AZ instance where we'll have a replica sitting in another availability zone. For the purposes of this, I'm actually going to leave it just a single zone, and I'll do another video on how to add a multi-AZ instance later on. Go ahead and hit next. And then once again, in most cases, Tessell will handle all updates, patching, and that sort of thing for you. We can define maintenance windows if you want here. Otherwise, we're going to go with kind of best practices for what those maintenance windows will be. You can, if you have a specific window which your environment needs to patch on, we can select that window here and go ahead and just put in like whatever day and start time, etc. In this case, I'll just put in no preference, and then we also give you the ability to enable minor version updates as well. This is really, once again, your preference on kind of how your business operates, but Tessell will handle the patching and we'll do this in an automated fashion for you as well. Go ahead and hit next. Now this is where we actually get to set up another one of our apps called the availability machine. This is where we'll give you point-in-time recoveries. So really, how many days do you want to give yourself to recover databases? For production databases, we'd probably recommend, maybe something like a 35-day point-in-time recovery. For maybe your dev test, you could actually knock this down to 1 day, which I'm going to do for this video. And then you could choose a time when you want that snapshot to be created, and then how long it should take, etc. And then if I wanted to, I could hit submit. Now, one of the other cool things here about Tessell is that, we want to help deploy this, at scale. So if you're an enterprise customer and maybe you have like, an SRE team that handles a lot of these deployments through CI/CD pipelines, etc., we can actually go over here to the bottom left where there's a code button, and I can click on this, and you'll notice that we give you a number of different methodologies for deploying this via code. So right away, what you can see here, we've got our Terraform code, which you can actually leverage our Terraform provider to go ahead and deploy this using infrastructure as code. You'll see our input JSON right here. We'll also give you the ability to do this via a shell script, Python, etc. So you have Go and a number of other options. So you can leverage PowerShell as well. This is really just the ability to go ahead and give you the code without you having to go and try to figure out how to write this yourself, right? We want to simplify this as much as possible and really take the lift, off your plate. So I'm going to go ahead and hit close here. And now what I'm going to do is go ahead and hit submit. And, this is where, once again, we're notifying you that you're going to need to notate what this password is. I'm going to create it with the default password just because at this point, I'm going to tear this instance down in a few minutes. So it's not really something I need to worry about. So we submitted that, and within a little while, we should actually have a new Postgres database engine set up. And you can see right here, demo recording, it's creating. it'll kind of show you exactly what's taking place. We've got our create compute instance here. Then it's going to go through configuring the database and the availability machine, etc. So within a few minutes, we should have a system ready to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video for a second, and then we'll leverage some video editing magic to come back here when this is all deployed. All right, so our database was finally created. We have the ability to go ahead and load some sample data in here, which I'll just do for some testing here. I could throw this in here, just a database of some airport data here. Throw this in. And as you can see, we've got a number of different options up here at the top, whether it's, your monitoring tab, if you want to see what the availability looks like over time, if it, has either gone down for any reason, memory, CPU, storage, all the network connections. We'll show all this information here. You can also leverage this data, to throw it into, your monitoring app of choice, whether it's, like a Datadog or a Sumo or something like that. We'll also give you the ability to go ahead and look at your logs here. You could see the instances. So this is where we had go ahead and create our node. I can come in here and actually create a replica too for either disaster recovery or, a read-only replica, which I can leverage for the system as well. So that's another option, which we can talk about in another video. And then we'll show you the databases. So this is the sample one that I created. This is my important app, the database that I created during the initial installation. We don't have any pools created yet, so if we do need to create connection pools for whatever reason, we can do that as well. Here's the ability to go ahead and leverage some integrations. We have a few that we support today, but we'll also, going to be adding some, as the months go on. Here are some of the events as far as what's taking place. And then if I want to go ahead and create like a start and stop schedule, I could do that as well. So let's say I want to come in here and say, maybe I have the system on, but I want to make sure that it shuts off, an hour after this demo. So maybe I'll say, let's change this to, 1300. That's 1 o'clock. Oops. 1300. Hit save. And then at 1 o'clock, on the August 10th, this is going to shut down, and we'll be in great shape there. It's awesome way to make sure that you're not spending on cloud. We have a lot of customers where they'll leverage this in order to start and stop their development and their testing instances, because you don't want to have those systems on 24/7. And then if you ever want to share this system with other folks, you can actually come in here and share it. So that's really how we go ahead and create our first Postgres instance. In some of the upcoming videos, I'm going to dive in a little bit more into the availability machine and Dataflex. So thanks for watching.